Good Sunday afternoon, and thank you for listening to Tea Time with Toya. I am your host, Toya. Today is July 20th, 2014, so I'm hoping everybody had a good weekend and they're on their way to having a great start for the week. Today's topic I just wanted to talk about is a little controversial, so I know some people are going to have some issues with it, and it's not my intention to offend anyone. It's just to give you a different point of view and something else to think about as far as our belief system goes. What I heard the other day is some audio I was listening to, because I do it quite often because I like to meditate and things like that, so sometimes I listen to different audios. And one of the audios I listened to stated that religion is a lazy person's way of believing. It's that they release themselves from any responsibility over their actions and put the responsibility off on someone else. So my question today is does religion make you lazy? And this again is towards your belief. So one of the things I thought about when I heard this was there was a study that was done about instincts, like what's internal in people, and well, not just people but animals and things, like what makes us tick, what's the underlying thing that makes us tick. And again, this is animals as well as humans, but I think the study was actually on humans, but they started with animals. And one of the things that they did was it was some newborn baby chicks. I don't know what type of bird it was. We'll just use seagull because that was what was in the example. So let's say there's some seagull birds that were just born and they're in their nest, and what they did was is that they took a shadow of a seagull and flew it overhead of the nest of these hatchlings. And what happened is that they stretched their necks out, calling out to the bird that they thought was there, and it was really just like a shadow. They called out to them. Well, the same way, somehow or another, they did the seagull in the manner where you can see it was a seagull, but when it went backwards, you can see it was a hawk. So when they did it backwards and they put the hawk over the chicks instinctively tucked themselves in, trying to hide themselves. So it was almost like they knew that this was a predator. Well, it's not almost like it is. They knew it was a predator and something in which they needed to fear. Another thing is sea turtles. Sea turtles are born on the sands, on the seashore. So what happens is the turtles come out, they lay the eggs, cover them up, they go back to sea, and then they're done. And what happens is once these sea turtles hatch, they instinctively know to go to the water and go back into the water to survive. That's how they do. So, but it's like what is inside them that actually makes them do it, and this is what we call instinct. So if instinctively animals are born knowing what to be afraid of, knowing what not to be afraid of, then why wouldn't the same thing be inside of humans? And that's kind of where my thought process went with it. So I don't really believe that we need someone else telling us what it is that we need to believe, and that's where I got out of the question is, does religion make you lazy? Because it's like someone is telling you what to believe and telling you how to believe it. Now, don't get me wrong, before you guys cut me off or, stop the radio broadcast or say I'm out my mind, I have reason behind what I'm saying, and I'm going to go through this. But if you instinctively, I think what's right and what's wrong. Now there are things that you're born into this world that you might not understand, like fire is hot and will burn you, but you instinctively know this is my mom, this is my dad, and I'm safe when I'm with them. That's what babies come out knowing. When you hold me, I know I'm safe, I know I'm okay. When I'm away from everybody, I'm scared, I don't know what's going on, and they know to be afraid because they don't know what's going on. So if things are inside of us that tell us stuff like that already, then why wouldn't it be something in us that tells us right from wrong? Now, I went to church one time. This was an old church of mine, and I'm not going to mention names or pastor names or anything like that. But we went to a church, and the pastor said something that really just didn't settle well with me because it was something I just did not believe at all. And what he said is that God does not want you to donate to places like Salvation Army or Red Cross or NAACP or United Way. He doesn't want you donating. He wants you to send all that money to the church. Well, I have a problem with that, because if I have a bag of food and I pass somebody that is starving, you mean to tell me God doesn't want me to give that food to that starving person that I passed on the street? You mean to tell me he wants me to take it to the church? I have a hard time believing that goes against what I internally feel is right or wrong. So I'm not going to do it. And that's kind of the controversy where I get out of that it's lazy for somebody else. Well, if I was that person who did go around and did believe what that pastor said, then I'm not going to feel anything about this person I just passed on the street that's sitting here hungry when I got this bag of food. Okay, I'm going to just look at it and keep on walking. And I don't think that is, and again, this is me in my opinion, I don't think that that's the proper way of going, and I don't think that's what God intended for us to do to one another. I mean, even in the Bible, it was saying that to look after your brother. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. So I don't believe that God would want you to walk past somebody starving when you have a bag of food. I just don't believe that. So sometimes when you go to church and things like that, you hear things that go against what it is that you believe internally, and it's really how you react off of that that makes the biggest difference. Are you one of those people that go off of it and that's it, or are you one of those people where you take it in and say, okay, I heard this, I don't necessarily believe all of it, but I'm gonna go ahead and with what I believe. And that's kind of what I am. I go along with what I believe and not necessarily what somebody else tells me. Now, another thing I thought about when I heard this was there's a movie called Stigmata that came out in 1999. And I remember there's a big hoopla over it because of the fact that, a lot of people a lot of pastors and preachers and things were telling people not to go to it. And one of the reasons why is this one particular quote that was in it. And like I said, this came out in 1999. I'm reading this off of moviemistakes.com. And what was said is the kingdom of God is inside of you and all around you, not in buildings of wood and stone. Split a piece of wood and I am there. Lift a stone and you will find me. Which that means is that you do not have to go out to churches or things like that to find God. God is already inside of you. So there's no need to look for something that you've already found, that you never lost. That's already inside of you, which goes back to the instinct. So if instinctively God is already inside of us for us to follow, then we should be listening to our own selves and not what someone else tells us to believe in. So, and it's your internal voice. So in saying that, I do understand too that there are times when people get lost, because I've been in that situation my own self where you're lost and you just don't know how to find your way, or you feel like God is trying to talk to you but you're just not hearing him, and you need that guidance, you need that help. And I think that is really where church comes in handy. That's where your guidance comes from, in church, to where you go to church, you may listen to a sermon and find your answer. I mean, there's been plenty of times I went to church and I was listening to the sermon and I swear they were talking directly to me about everything that was going on inside my head, to the point where you looking around like, is somebody following me? Is there a telepath in here or something like that? Is somebody reading my mind? Because the pastor will touch on every single issue that I had and give me every bit of guidance that I was looking for. So please do not take what I'm saying to mean that there is no reasoning for church, because I really do believe there is a purpose behind it. Maybe not the purpose that it was created with, because in the history of, I'm gonna just use Christian religion because that's what I grew up with and that's what I am. So I'm gonna use the Christian religion as far as the history goes. There was a group of priests that got together along with Constantine, which you can look up this information, what I'm telling you, don't take my word for it, always check. But they got together and they decided what they were going to include and not include in their Bible. And one of the things that they did was they took a lot of the pagan holidays and they centered a lot of the new religion holidays around that in order to get people to convert. So if you have this pagan holiday that happens at this time, the last week of December during the winter solstice, then I'm going to include a holiday for you to celebrate that happens around that same time in order for me to get you to convert over to this new religion. And that is exactly what they did. And the reasoning behind this is that they wanted a way to control the masses, large populations of people, and that was the reasoning behind them doing it. So they started all of this and they put it together and they spread it out, and people started to convert to the Christian religion because of it. And they were able to control people, and with controlling them, they were able to put fear inside of them because of what God will do to you should you not follow these rules and do what he says or what the pastor tells you you need to do. So it came about through a means of controlling people, controlling large masses and putting fear in them so that they will listen. Now, nowadays, like I said, I don't think that that's the same way we need to take it now. But Because sometimes you, like I said, you're lost. You don't know exactly where you're going. You don't know what it is that you're looking for, what to do. You need some guidance. You need some words. You can't hear God's voice. By all means, go to church. Listen to the pastor. It might come from that. It might come from a friend telling you something. It might come from a movie you're watching, some music you listening to. God's message is going to get to you whichever way he can get it to you. You just have to be open to hearing it and listening to it. This broadcast right now could be God talking to you right now. Who knows? Because I don't know what your situation is. All I know is that this moved me, and I wanted to discuss it and give this information to other people to see what they think of it and what they, what they believe. Before I forget, commercial break. So today's show is again brought to you by lifechanger2.myvi.net. If you're trying to lose weight, get healthier, gain muscle, why not do it what the celebrities are doing? It's called Taking the Challenge, and the challenge is to lose 10 pounds. Once you lose, they say the first 10 pounds is the hardest to lose. So once you lose those first 10 pounds, it gets easier and easier. So what Visalis does is they have meal replacement shakes and cereals in order to help you lose the weight and get healthier. And some of the celebrities that take it, Hulk Hogan is really big with Visalis. You can look up Hulk Hogan and Visalis on YouTube, and you'll see a whole bunch of videos that come up of the different techniques and things that he does. Some of the other people that use it would be Steve Harvey. He's taken the challenge. You have Will Smith, who's taken the challenge. There's a model and makeup artist, Christine Dolce. And I probably butchered her last name, and forgive me, I'm not a big celebrity person, so I don't really stay into their business. But Christine Dolce, Dolce. She's also taken the challenge. So there's quite a few different celebrities have taken the challenge, and because the product actually works. And most celebrities will not endorse or put their name on things unless it's something that they truly believe in. So if this works for celebrities, why wouldn't it work for you as well? And again, that's lifechanger2.myvi.net. That's LIFECHANGER, the number 2.myvi.net, N-E-T. Okay, so check that out. You can get some more information, look to some testimonials, and place an order all at the same time on that website. Okay, so going back to what it was that I was discussing, though, when it comes down to the history of it and how they were using the Christian belief to get people to convert to it, to control large masses, and instill fear so that their new religion would actually be followed. Now, do you know Constantine himself did not even convert over to the Christian belief until he was on his deathbed? And this is one of the people that actually created this. He helped bring it about. He helped put it out there and get the word spread so that he can control large masses of people. And one of the other things is that people do, which is what he did, is that they use that belief as a reason and an excuse to go ahead and cause terror and mayhem with other races. Now, going back to what I said earlier, I do not think, no matter who you call God, like again, I don't care if it's Yahweh, Jehovah, Buddha, God, whatever you call your God, I do not believe it was your God's intention for you to go out and cause harm to other people just because they do not believe the same thing that you believe. And a lot of religions use their belief system in order to do just that. Terrorist attacks, to just everything. Constantine was one of them. He would go conquer other lands and stuff in the name of Christianity and would slaughter people and just, bloodshed everywhere. Jerusalem is one of the most bloody places in this entire world. I think you cannot convince me that bloodshed has taken place in any other place as much as it has in Jerusalem. They have constantly fought over it from the beginning of time. So much bloodshed has been done on Jerusalem, which is supposed to be one of the holiest places that you can go to in this world. Why? Because so many religions want to take it over and claim it for themselves instead of sharing it. And that's what I believe. I don't care what God it is. And let's say there are 10 gods. I don't think all 10 gods wants us killing everybody. Because if we kill each other and kill everybody else for not believing the same thing that we believe, then who do we have to convert? Nobody. So I just don't think that that was the way it is, which goes back to what I said in the beginning. Instinct. There are things inside of us that tell us what is right and what is wrong. And that's one of the things that even as a child I always felt was wrong. How can you blow up this building and these people and say you did it in the name of Allah, or you did it in the name of Jesus, or you did it in the name of God, or you did it in the name of Yahweh, and feel like it's okay? Feel like nothing is wrong with it, and think that that is exactly what your God wanted you to do. I don't believe that. And I have a hard time with that. And if we are God's creations, then why would God want his creations to kill off each other? It doesn't make sense to me. And again, this is my belief. You can take it or leave it. It's quite okay. And I'm not trying to change your mind. This is a discussion because this is my radio station, so this is me telling you my opinion. And this is one of those topics I really wish I had the ability to have, like with a group discussion and really get going, but at this time I don't. So when I get to the point where I have interviews and have group discussions, then I probably will go ahead and bring this topic back up, because it will be something I do want to discuss again later on. But I really just don't believe that that was what the intention was. So going back to the question, and I keep saying going back, but going back to the question, does religion make you lazy? And I think in some cases it can. If you just really, you don't want to think about what's right or wrong. You just want somebody to tell you what to do with your life, instead of making that determination and actually looking inside yourself and figuring it out for yourself, and using your church, using the Bible, using the Quran, using, okay, I don't know what the Jewish one is called at this moment. I can't think of what it is. But whatever your source is, your spiritual source is, using that for the tool in which it was intended, which is to guide you. Not tell you what to do, but guide you to finding yourself and developing your own beliefs. And going to church, or going to mass, or going to the temple, going to whatever it is that you're going to as a means to help you develop your own belief in your own relationship with the God that you believe in. And that's what it all boils down to. I don't think we should have somebody telling us what to do, but helping us when we can't find our way, guiding us to our own pathways, and helping us to figure out what it is that we believe and what it is that we internally already know, and coming up with that decision. Because we second guess ourselves all the time, and we don't have a lot of faith in our own selves, and that can be hard and trying sometimes. So again, but that's what I really want to discuss and get out there today. So just something, food for thought. And please don't kill me, because that's not my intention. I'm not really trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm not really trying to push buttons or anything like that. I can't stress that enough. It's more so opening your mind to your own belief, challenging you to really look at what it is you believe and why you believe it. Is it because of something inside of you told you that that was right, or is it because somebody told you that that was right? Your opinion too. I really wish people would leave comments. Nobody's been leaving comments lately, but leave some comments. I really want to hear what everybody has to say on this. But do you think it's lazy, or or what they say, you're just following your belief in your religion and just going about what that calls for? But that's it for tonight, or today rather. I'll see you guys back here next Sunday. Again, visit lifechanger2.myvi.net. Get healthy. I've been on it for some time now, which, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I fall off and then come back, fall off, come back. So I'm back on now, and I've been doing this for a week straight, and I've lost a total of 6 pounds, but I did gain 2 pounds back because I kind of got off the horse again, and I overate like for a couple of days, so I gained some weight back, but I'm still coming down. So it really is a product that works, but you have to work it too. It will help you lose the weight. It will help you get healthier, and it will make you more conscious of some of the things that you're eating, and try to get you in the mindset of eating better, not overeating, because it will shrink your stomach too. So if you want to shrink your stomach so that you don't overeat, or you can't overeat as much as you used to because your stomach done shrunk, then it's a good way to start. Okay, so again, that's lifechanger2.myvi.net, a really good product. And I will see you guys next Sunday. And thanks for listening.